Carl, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us who you are and what your title is?
I'm Carl Hantske. I'm a morning reporter on 680 News here in Toronto.
Carl, this video is for kids in first year news writing class, and their first assignment this week is to go to a news conference to report on a story. What advice would you have for them?
Well, first thing, even getting there, you want to get there early enough to make sure that you get a spot. A lot of the news conferences today depends. Some of them will have plugins for your mic and your equipment. Make sure that you're in with that. Then you want to test your audio always, because there's no point in going to a news conference and recording something if you're not sure that you're recording your audio. So plug in whatever you are, test it, make sure that you can see it, play it back so that you've heard it, then you're set and ready to go. Make sure you have batteries, fresh batteries, when you go to a news conference, because there's nothing worse than having your recorder run out midway through. You don't want that to happen. Bring along an extra set of batteries in case something happens, that you have an extra set there on hand. You want to make sure you have a good spot. You want to have something that you're going to be recording what's going on, writing down either on your phone, tapping on your phone, or on old school if you have a pad and paper. You want to write down. You want to listen to what the person is saying, and you want to mark your time codes as to when they say something that you think is clip-worthy or that is important. That way, when you're going back after, you can go quickly to the points, you know exactly what was said. So at 2 minutes 30 seconds he said this, at 3 minutes 14 seconds he said that. So when you're going through after, you can get to those clips quickly, and you know, instead of having to listen to the whole news conference again, it'll help you to be able to get through the salient facts or the points or the good clips that you're going to take out of that to use to go on air a lot quicker. Write down point form notes as it's going along, what's being said, so that if you have to surmise, you have to go on air after, it allows you to have a summary. It also makes you know the story better, because the more comfortable you are with your story, the better you will be able at presenting it. If you're uncomfortable, if you don't really know your story, you're going to come off as cold. Whereas if you're confident about the story, if you know what's going on, if you know what it's about, if you know what the person said, then that comes across in your presentation. You're just talking naturally rather than being stiff. So those would be the most basic things. And then, of course, get any outlines that they hand out to you. Know the story in advance, read up on it so you have some knowledge when you're going in. Not just something cold, that you can have some background you can look at so you have an idea of what they're going to be talking about, what is behind the story, what questions you may ask if you have to ask some questions, and also be prepared after for if you're going to do any one-on-one Q&As. Sometimes people will make themselves available after to you to go in. That's often when you get your best tape. Because a lot of time when they're up at the microphone, they're just speaking from a script or they're speaking from something that they've memorized. If you can get them afterwards and they're just going to have a one-on-one chat with them, that's when you get people talking most naturally, and that is a better clip. Someone who's speaking something just conversationally rather than reading from a script. It's a different sound, it's more authentic, it's more engaging to the listener. So be prepared after, ask for the one-on-ones, and go with that. But again, make sure you go there, make sure you have your equipment tested out before you go, make sure you have fresh batteries, make sure that you are plugged in and that you are recording and that you capture the audio, because those little things are big things, because they reduce your level of panic and anxiety if something goes wrong. So the more preparation you take in advance, the fewer problems you'll have to deal with when you're actually there.
Carl, just a quick career advice for kids that are going into journalism. What's your advice to them?
Work hard. Ask to do everything. Don't just sit around. Be the one that is asking to do things and goes out and do things on your own. Be energetic. Managers my age today, and that we're so busy with all the other stuff we have to deal with. We don't really have that much time to spend individually on people. So work independently. Be proactive. Ask what you can be done. Maybe see something that can be done and go ahead and do it. And then always practice, and send those tapes to those, or your audition stuff that you're doing, to your superiors. Have them look at it, have them listen to it, have them watch it, and that's how you get better. Practice. Everyone, when you come out of school, you're going to be green. We expect that, but it's the personality that's going to make the difference. Say yes to everything, volunteer for everything, work harder than everyone else, and you will achieve. If you just think, it'll happen, it won't happen. You have to make it happen, especially today. You're going to wear lots of hats. I'm in radio, I do television, I do stuff for the web. You have to dance a lot. So be willing to dance.